Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to present the case of Hayden, a 3 years old and 4 months child diagnosed with Williams syndrome. What is Williams syndrome? Williams syndrome is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by distinct physical, cognitive, and behavioral characteristics. Therefore, occupational therapy support the child development and enhance their functional abilities. This presentation will discuss occupational performance concern, underlying factors, frame of reference, characteristic of the diagnosis, the assessment finding, and goal for our young client with Williams syndrome. Hayden is a 3 years, 4 months male diagnosed with Williams syndrome. He lives at home with his parent who help with activity of daily living. His parents worked together to provide Aiden with the resources he needed to be as independent as possible. For example, integrate into preschool and be active at his appropriate age. Aiden is the only child in the family. Hayden family can be regarded as educated middle class. His father is a manager at Walmart and his mother is a part-time high school teacher. Hayden family owns a two-bedroom townhouse in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hayden is receive occupational therapy for developmental delay in most areas of occupation, such as play, hand washing, feeding skill, dressing, and potty needs. Parents were very concerned that Hayden might not meet the requirement for preschool readiness. Hayden struggled the most with certain activity. So first of all, let's talk about what is a typical development for a 3 years old and 4 month, 18 age. A typical one is they're able to say name when asked, speak well most of the time, and can be understood by others. They are able to wear clothing such as loose pants and jacket. They have great social participation by noticing other children, and they also can feed themselves use a fork, according to the CDC. So now we're gonna talk about what Hayden struggle. Hayden struggled the most with certain activity of daily living, such as being unable to wear loose pants or jacket, not using a fork for feeding tasks, having difficulty focusing on project on his own for a few at a time, and safety concern due to hyper sociability during social interaction with strangers. However, Hayden shows strength in social participation by noticing other children and joining them in their play. Moreover, is able to say his name when asked, speak most of the time appropriately, and can be understood by others. All these developmental milestones, it's according to the CDC 2023 compared to Aiden developmental milestone. So we're gonna talk about the underlying factors and characteristics of the diagnosis. Williams syndrome mostly present with cognitive difficulty, delay in motor development, sensory processing, difficulty, attention to tasks, unique facial features such as a small chin, full cheeks, and an upturned nose. Therefore, parents are most concerned for Aiden's safety and daycare in meeting the preschool readiness criteria. Parents show good insight into Aiden diagnosis. So the psychomotor retardation will, can really affect balance disturbance, can reduce stability and motor coordination, making occupation, certain factors and performance skills difficult. This dysfunction can increase the risk of fall during showering, toileting, grooming, and functional mobility. Characteristics of Williams syndrome include the strength of short-term memory and language skills that can affect social participation, communication management, and educational management. On the other hand, people with Williams syndrome are impaired in spatial awareness and other cognitive ability and have weakness in visual spatial structures, dread stability, muscle power, and muscle endurance, affecting activities such as climbing stairs, jumping over gaps, drawing, and playing, such as obstacle course. Numerous studies have reported that people with Williams syndrome tend to mood and mood swing often with high anxiety level. So the frame of reference that support our research is one appropriate one is the SI. The frame of reference sensory integration emphasize the importance of sensory processing and shaping the way a person interact with and respond to the environment. For children with Williams syndrome, the SI frame of reference is particularly relevant as they often experience sensory processing difficulties, including sensory seeking or avoidance behavior, which can impact their ability to participate in daily activities. Another frame of reference is the developmental frame of reference suggests that human development proceeds chronologically from infancy to adulthood. A development frame of reference is a holistic approach covering sensory integration, cognitive skill, dyadic interaction, group interaction, and self-identity skills. Aiding delay in most of these skills require enhancing age-appropriate adapting and strengthening those skills to prepare for preschool. Healthy goal in all areas is critical to achieve healthy coping behavior and building typical development. Intervention may include activity and strategy aimed at improve motor skill, cognitive ability, and sensory processing as well as emotional functioning. Now we are at the point we have to assess Aiden. We're gonna select uh, the assessment for Aiden. The first one, the most appropriate one, would be the PDMS2 edition, which is a bottom-up approach. The PDM2 edition is a standardized assessment tools for children from 1 month to 5 years, 11 months, making Aiden an excellent candidate to complete this assessment. Administering the Peabody Development Motor Skill Edition PDMS2 to Aiden to enhance his preparation for self-care, social play, handwriting, and kindergarten readiness that challenge ghost motors, fine motors, and visual motor skills. The PDMS2 will demonstrate his performance skill in areas of weakness and strength. Therefore, it will provide results that guide me towards developing meaningful goals and pursuing achievement. Another one is the PD, the Pediatric Evaluation of Disability Inventory. The PD is an interview-based assessment standardized on normative sample. It measures functional studies concerning self-care, mobility, and social function across the following three measure scale. But this one is a top-down approach, so it is assessed mostly the occupation. Um, the and the following two major scale is gonna be considering Aiden's difficulty in this area and her performance concern about his safety in in kindergarten readiness or preschool readiness. First, make him an excellent candidate for this assessment. Now the occupation based outcome in prediction. During the PDMS2 and the PEDI assessment, we observe several areas of concern and strength in aid and development. Here are some key assessment findings. Fine motor skills. Aiden demonstrated delay in fine motor skills, such as grasping and manipulating small objects, using utensil and drawing. They exhibit difficulty with hand-eye coordination and precision movement. Two, for self-care skills, Hayden showed challenge in self-care skills, including dressing and feeding tasks. Hayden required assistance and had difficulty with fine motors and control and motor control and coordination tasks. Hayden experienced difficulty in adaptive functioning, including self-care skills, compared to typical developing children. However, with appropriate support and intervention, many of these skills can be addressed, and individuals with Williams syndrome have the prognosis to develop independence in self-care tasks. So the two occupation-based outcome is the first one is Aiden is Aiden unable to engage in upper body dressing with large clothes due to cognitive impairment and motor delay. The second one is Aiden unable to pour water into a cup due to a lack of gross motor coordination. That's the problem list. That's the occupation based outcome. So those two problems we're gonna create a goal for them to set it in for success. So now let's talk about the goal for Aiden and how to measure data to show potential progress. The first goal for Aiden is Aiden will perform upper body dressing using a loose t-shirt with one initial verbal direction with 3 out of 3 opportunities daily over 2 consecutive weeks by 3 months. The second goal is Aiden will perform feeding tasks by pouring water into a cup using bilateral motor control with one demonstration with 2 out of 2 opportunity over 2 consecutive weeks by 3 months. The fact that Aiden demonstrated delay in self-care tasks, which limited his acceptance in preschool and also independence at home, his parents were really concerned. So the preschool readiness skill and self-care refer to the abilities and competency children should develop before entering preschool to take care of themselves independently. These skills are essential for children to become more self-reliant and to participate actively in their daily routine. Some of the critical self-care skills that children should acquire before starting preschool, including tolerating, dressing, feeding, and personal hygiene. Dressing skill encompasses the ability to put on and take off clothing independently. It includes skills such as buttoning, zipping, and tying shoelaces. Developing these skills allow Hayden to dress without assistance and promote his autonomy and self-care. Feeding skills involve eating independently using utensils, drinking from a cup, and feeding oneself without assistance. Aiden should be able to feed himself with minimal spills and use utensils effectively. Developing feeding skills for Aiden not only promote independence but also enhance fine motor skills and high hand coordination. However, provide Aiden with opportunity to practice and develop these skills in a supportive and encouraging environment is crucial for his overall development and readiness for preschool. In conclusion, Aiden diagnosed with Williams syndrome presents specific challenges in fine motor skills, self-care, sensory processing, and safety with social emotional development. Through targeted intervention strategies and goal-oriented therapy, occupational therapy aims to support his development, enhance functional abilities, and promote independence. Occupational therapy services can help Eden thrive and reach his full potential by addressing this area of concern. Thank you for your attention. I'm open to any question or suggestion regarding this case. And the last slide is the reference, which is the CDC 2002. That's where we got most of our information when it comes to developmental milestone for age appropriate of 3 years old and 4 months. Thank you very much. Ciao.